here today to give you an introduction to the application I have created in use in terms of the Firebase framework. To start off, I use the Firebase console in order to tie my application with the Firebase framework and to get real-time authentication, storage, and Crashlytics along with my application I have built. As you can see here, when I first started using the Firebase framework, I instantly went into the sign-in method and I enabled multiple different kind of authentication providers. First was Google, the email and password was next, Facebook was next, Twitter is upcoming, and anonymous is enabled also. With the console, as you can see, you click into the project, you get a wide variety of options to see with your application that you have been building. It gives you active users between a certain key period in which you choose. In my case, I have chosen about a month, a 7-day process, and a 1-day process. These all here are from different devices I have used to test my application. My one device was a virtual device using a Pixel 2 XL, and my other device was my everyday use Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus that I have downloaded from Android Studio as an APK. While working with Firebase, you always have to start with downloading the SDK. Downloading the SDK was very simple once I have figured out how to use it. You come into this screen here, you add your app ID and your SHA certificate fingerprint that is given to you in Android Studio. Once you have done so, you download the Google Services JSON and you add it to your main folder called app, as you can see here. Once that is added, you can see here this is given to you automatically before you download it. Once you add it, it communicates with your system and allows your application to communicate with this Firebase console. Once you run the program for the first time, it will take a couple minutes for it to connect to the Firebase console, and it will register automatically for you. You have nothing else to touch. You don't have anything else to do. You just give it time, use it. As long as you have all your Gradle dependencies in line, it will run successfully. The framework I use, Firebase, uses APIs, SDKs, and provides web and mobile app developers with the use of cloud storage, authentication, and real-time databases for information about your application in its everyday use. While building this application, I have ran through numerous problems. The first problem I faced, which I feel any developer may go through, is the Gradle dependencies. As you can see here, this is my app level dependency through the Gradle. I had to keep everything in line, all the plugins in check, and I had to make sure that my implementations in my dependencies were all correct. As you can see here, I have the Firebase configuration dependency. I have my authentication dependencies. I have the core and authentication, which will link it to Google and the other numerous sign-in features that I have chosen. This one is commented out because in the soon future, I will have Firebase messaging up and running in order for me, the developer, to communicate with the user. This right here is the Google Sign-In SDK, which is required for the Google Sign-In. If you were to add all Firebase implementations and not this one, the program will not work functionally. Next, I also have the Facebook SDKs, my Twitter SDKs, if you choose to sign in with either of these. Down at the bottom, this is what parses my Google Services JSON file into my application to make it run. The problem that I faced with all of these dependencies was I either added them into the app level Gradle file and misplaced it into the main project level file. As you can see here, I only have 3. These never changed unless I had updated my Gradle. What I had done is I had added all of these implementations in this dependency list into my project level dependency. Once I removed them and added them back into the app level dependency, as I have over here, everything ran and compiled successfully. What showed me that I had this problem was when I would go into the Android manifest, I would click down here off to the left bottom screen and clicked on merge manifest, and these sources would never pop up. As you can see, I have my Facebook Firebase configuration here, which this is all linked into my manifest. I didn't have to touch anything. It just injected itself on its own. I have my Twitter core, Play Services, Facebook, the Play Services base, and so on and so forth, including the Firebase UI authentication file, as you can see right here. These libraries, once implemented correctly, just swept right in. Moving away from my Gradle, I had many problems with the Firebase plugin registering for my console, like I had said before. I click under my settings and go into plugins. As you can see, I have a numerous amount of installed plugins. I had never updated and added these, which are critical for the application process. Once I added every Firebase plugin, everything compiled, like I said. Moving on. The next issue I ran across was the layout types. With layouts, you have multiple and numerous different types of layouts you can choose from. If I were to select one, Google Content, as you can see, a preview will pop up right here. You could choose between a linear layout and numerous other kinds of layouts. However, each of them respond differently in the way that you would like your application to process. Wow, there we go. This is the first layout I have chosen to create. It is the Firebase integration with Google Sign-In. I have put my own logo in for the business and numerous buttons in order to sign in with your own Google account. As an example, I have ran this on here, my Pixel 2 XL. As you can see, this mirrors this exactly. However, this template I have in the text file. As you can see, Workout Buddy logo to respond as a circle instead of a square. Pulling this back up, this is the first activity I had created and had pretty good responses with. So if I were to click sign in, I could choose my Google account I wish to proceed with. And there you go. I have this running down here. It's your Firebase user number, which changes for each different user. This is the personal number, authentication number for this Pixel device. To get me through my issues, or should I say problems, that I faced during this project, I used the free camp manager. With numerous different tasks, I can create the perfect application by completing them in order, assigning them to a person depending on who is in your group. And I also implemented the priority for each available task. As you can see, I have a couple left, which are in the process now. Next, I also have, which was just created, the task for the website that I had developed, but that will be a different video. Along with this resource of using FreeCamp, I used the GitHub server. What I did was, after any change in my application, I have added it to the GitHub desktop and pushed it to GitHub website for development. And every time I made a change, I added a list of different changes along with the name, in this case, me, along with a list of things that have been changed. Once those have been changed, they were checked off in this task list over here. If I ever had an issue or an error with anything in this project that didn't allow it to run properly, what I would do is go into my settings, and with the Gradle deployment, I would run under compiler and use this command right here. By using the scan option, it publishes every issue with your Gradle dependencies and application or successful runs to the Gradle online source, in which you can see and change periodically. In the future, this app is supposedly and will be available for gym trainers and gym trainees. It will act to help them communicate remotely and allow the trainer to give the trainee their specific instructions, such as workout schedules, meal plans, and other numerous varieties of information. How this will work is integration with Google SDK, Google Cloud, and Google Drive. It will all seamlessly work together as one to provide the perfect application and help the everyday user in the gym or other functionalities. This application does not need to be used for just workout instances. You can use it for studies or other occurrences. Also in the future, I plan to integrate files into Google Flutter for later iOS integration. What this will do is allow me to seamlessly create Java source code in Android Studio and duplicate it into iOS Xcode to publish my application into the App Store. Next, for the future, I plan to integrate my application with the website I have developed. What this will do is use the Firebase SDK, authentication, storage, and performance to seamlessly link my application with the website. As you can see here, hosting is available for Firebase, and you can install Firebase tools through your Windows command prompt. Also, as you can see here, for the production of this application, I ran Java 12, which has just previously ran into existence. And this is the path environment for Flutter, which I explained before. After everything seamlessly works together, I plan to have this application launched on the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store so that both parties can enjoy the application together.